What's up, everyone? It's Roger and APF from DisKingdom.com with episode number 102 of Infinity and Beyond, your weekly video game podcast for all things Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. On this episode, we're going to be discussing the Finding Dory Playset, the Star Wars Bespin expansion pack, plus all the other bits and pieces of Lego Star Wars, and loads of other bits and pieces of news from the week. So, Abe, how's your week been doing?
It's been good, man. It's getting a little busy. It's getting hotter out here. Summer's in full blast. So yeah, it's been crazy. But how about you? How's it going over there? And Brexit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of an interesting week. Yeah. We're not going to get too political on this one. Yeah, so a little bit of an odd week this week for us. So let's kick off. First off, I think we're going to jump straight into some of the news and stuff. So first off, it's Finding Dory Playset. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. It kind of feels a bit weird because I think I got it so many weeks ago and played it and completed it. I kind of forgot that it was out just over a week ago. Obviously, with E3, you were distracted and it only really came out last week. So I really want to know, what did you think of the playset?
You know, it's I think you said it best. I think it's a bittersweet ending, but I think it ends in a nice home run. It's a really awesome playset. It's very, very pretty. I expected it to be similar to the Inside Out in certain ways. It is, but it's also very unique. I love the new the pieces that are introduced into the toy box, and yet you see some of them in the playset, and you see the way they swim both ways. You know, you have your 2D platformer, and then you have certain ones where it felt way different than Inside Out had, where they had their 3D modes as well. But other than that, it's a very pretty playset. It's definitely obviously old news because they barely got it and everybody has had it for a while. But it's definitely a good ending to Infinity. I think it was a great way to say goodbye to the game. But yeah, it's been a fun game. I love how the characters play outside of the playset as well. So I think fish work in Infinity.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of, to me, it was a very good looking playset. I think it was I felt like the 2D side scrolling stuff worked so much better than the Inside Out stuff did. I think they seem to have mastered. Absolutely. I think they mastered how that worked in terms of moving around, but it felt like a separate game. It feels like if they'd taken the 2D side scrolling stuff and just had a menu to jump between the different missions, they could have released that as an entirely different game. And I think they could do it called Just Keep Swimming.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just keep swimming. Sure. But yeah, overall, I definitely enjoyed it. It's. I mean, I'm nowhere near finished because there's been so many new games. Obviously Battlefront Bespin, and I had E3, so I was distracted. But what I've played so far, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to continue playing it because that's the way Infinity is going to stay alive, is just by me continuously playing it and having fun with it. So
yeah, I definitely feel like for me, like, I want to go through and play those play sets, especially the 3.0 and all those kind of play sets a little bit more. I definitely felt with 3.0, I never really felt like I got normally at this time of the year was when you were waiting for the next edition. So I usually would start at, like, around this time to start going back and jumping in and replay all the playsets again. I'm gonna be honest, I felt a little bit like I haven't played Infinity for a few weeks since I finished the playset, because I just generally have just felt like I've almost feel like I wanted a little bit of time off from it because of just the last few years playing it. But I would really, really want to go back through that playset again and play it, that one specifically, because kind of when I went through it the first time, I was obviously doing the videos and I was recording and stuff, so it's just kind of like to go through a bit more leisurely and just kind of try and master all the missions and find all the little bits and pieces, because there is definitely that replayability. We're trying to unlock stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's like I mentioned, there's a lot of new toys being introduced to the toy box, and like you said, there's unlockables, and I feel like it's just pretty to look at, as opposed to having to feel the urge to collecting balloons like the other one, the other platformer. But this one's more just like, every time you play it, you have something new to look at. Or I mean, I'm also talking about mostly the 3D parts. Obviously, the 2D platformer you can see on the screen, but yeah, it's just such a really, really pretty playset.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of, it felt like like you say,
Yeah.
like a good way to go out, a good sort of, and I would recommend if you've got Disney Infinity, pick this one up. Now, I've been still hearing Canada have still not got it out yet.
Yeah, it's not out
They
yet,
still haven't.
and some of their stores aren't even carrying it, so it's a lot harder for them to find. So it's been crazy. I've also been asked that some figures like Nemo are harder to find in certain areas too. So I've been asked to like, hey, can you help me out? And I'm like, well, if I see one, for sure.
I mean, I know. I mean, here in the UK, for me personally, I mean, I've been in a few different supermarkets and not seen any of the. But then I didn't get the Alice figures either. Some of the supermarkets have pulled all their Toys to Life stuff out the way. I've been to at least 3 different Tesco's nearby, and none of them have had the new figures in, including Alice. So I definitely, but I know like Game, for example, have had them in, and you can buy them online. But it definitely feel like Taylor have not got behind us. They haven't brought the same amount of stock that they normally buy. I definitely feel like if you want this playset, you might need to, go online, order it, and get it in. DisneyStore.com have got it. You can order it off there, or I think Amazon and stuff. I wouldn't, if you're waiting for discounts, I don't think there was a lot to begin with.
Right, definitely. Yeah, the discounts, the places that are discounting, you're only getting it on the old stuff still, so nothing on the new stuff.
I don't know whether or not, like this whole thing of what they did with the overproduction of the figures and stuff, whether or not they did cut back on some of these other figures, whether they did make as many of them.
Yeah, I honestly feel that at least Alice and the Alice figures and Nemo, I don't think they were really in the know as to whether the game was going to be shut down or not. But the fact is, all the other figures, I'm sure they had multiple runs, to keep producing. Yeah. I'm sure they only had minimal runs for these guys because obviously probably mid-run they're like, okay, we're shutting down, so they probably just have a limited amount. So who knows?
It's hard to know because it's that thing, like you say, of how many runs they do, and it's not like they like the Hulks. I can't imagine they printed 2 million to ship all at the same time. I mean, they might have done, but it's like when maybe over the space of 3-4 years they were realizing, the numbers, let's produce a little bit less, cut them back. And if they were having this stock inventory, we'll just run a second print if they start getting low. But it definitely feels like, but then I do wonder whether or not there could be literally a stack of these figures in some warehouse that Disney haven't been able to get out because the retailers aren't buying them. I'm wondering how much of this, maybe not necessarily the stock hasn't been made, it's just the retailers aren't willing to buy a product which was basically dumped.
I don't know. I think it could be the opposite too. I could think they could have been clearing out the warehouse and giving them to the retailers dirt cheap, and hence why you see like 3-packs at Walmart for $15. They could have been sold to Walmart for $1 a piece or something. You know what I mean? Just to make something out of it. The point is, we'll never know. It's gone, and they're not really communicating much. So yeah,
no,
that's it.
Well, I think this is it. I mean, I've just had a question there from Jack in the live chat. How long the playset is? Have you actually finished the main playset yet, or not?
I have not finished it yet. No, I haven't.
I don't know. I definitely. I'm trying to think back. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 hours seemed about right. I know I was playing it for most of the week in the evenings. I know I was recording, but I was playing at least an hour or so at a time. So I mean, I'm definitely thinking sort of 4 or 5 hours. And that's to do it properly. I mean, you probably could rush through it really, really quickly if you wanted to. But I think, it definitely a hell of a lot longer than Marvel Battlegrounds or even Force Awakens. It's much better than that.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think everything's longer than Marvel Battlegrounds. But, yeah, no, it's definitely a great playset. As I said, I'm excited to keep playing it. So
yeah, my cup of tea seems to have lasted me longer than how long I was playing Marvel Battlegrounds for. So that is definitely like it's kind of odd because it's definitely there's been this kind of talk now about how the community of the Disney Infinity is kind of going through this it's it's dying, and it's almost like it was always going to naturally just start easing off because people started to accept it and people are starting to move on. People are starting to play other stuff. People, I know, I think a lot of the toy box artists seem to have got into Overwatch. I mean, I haven't played that yet myself. I don't know if you've got into it.
No, I've been telling myself I want to get it, but there's other things coming out, and I just don't have time.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. But this is the thing of people are going to start moving into things. And I definitely, this is where we've said like Lego Dimensions, where that started to pick up. It feels like that's picked up. I myself, I did happen to be on eBay the other night, and I have ordered there was a second-hand starter pack with about 4 or 5 figures and a couple of level packs all chucked in for like 50 quid, because I've been looking out for a discount. It happened to be Toys R Us then did a deal the following day that Infinity Museum messaged me about. But I was like, yeah, I thought, what, I'm going to jump in because I love Lego games. But it just feels like, a lot of people are moving on to other stuff.
Yeah, I'm personally going to be jumping into Dimensions as well. I'm working on a new project, so it'll be kind of fun. But yeah, no, it's true. It's just there's so much out there, so it's kind of hard to jump into other things.
So I think, speaking of jumping into other things, this week saw the new Star Wars Battlefront expansion pack released. The Bespin or Bespin, or how do you want to pronounce it?
Bespin.
Bespin. Because I just read it's Bespin or Bespin. And now on every single video I've been putting, someone goes, "You're pronouncing it wrong."
Bespin, the new B movie.
Oh, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. But how have you been finding that?
I've actually been enjoying it. I think I've played it maybe about three evenings. Some of them I play like 10 minutes, but actually a couple nights ago I ended up playing for a while, and it's fun. The Cloud City's fun. I love the new maps. Definitely like that they finally incorporated something new in Fighter Squadron, because I do like the flying modes. And the new game Sabotage has been a lot of fun too. I mean, you're having multiple heroes out at the same time, and it's not all about killing the heroes anymore. It's about blowing up charges and defending certain areas. And no, it's been a lot of fun. Then they introduced more weapons and star cards via hut contracts, and there's been some pretty awesome ones. There's one where you stun your opponents, they can't even shoot, or they're immobilized. They can't even move. So it's great. It helps you out.
That happened. I was playing last night, and I suddenly did this timer come out going. I'm like, what's going on here? And it's like,
yeah, it's some cool stuff that they've introduced. As far as the new heroes, Lando, and then the other bounty hunter, which I still to this day don't remember his name.
3 seconds.
Yeah. I haven't really been that crazy about Lando. In his defense, I really haven't played him much. And I have not tried the other bounty hunter guy, so I don't know. I can't really say much. But it's cool the fact that they're introduced. I do have one of my hut contracts to get a lot of kills as Lando. So I guess I'll know more about him later. But the couple times that I have played him, I haven't really been crazy about him. But other than that, I mean, it's been a great expansion. I know the load times have been horrible lately, but there is a patch coming out tomorrow. In fact, I believe they said Monday. So that should be fixing that problem. And I think some other issues that they've had with some of the modes that feel a little overpowered or whatnot. So.
I must be. I think like the hero stuff, I've not been able to play it as any. I must be. I think I've been playing it a couple hours a day since the pack came out. I really have been quite playing this a lot. Was the hero stuff? I've not seen a single hero token to be able to become either one of the characters. Heroes versus villains isn't available in the Bespin or actual list. It's not available in the options because that's all I did. Is I basically have gone into either the sub menu or the play list. Of course, heroes and villains isn't in there because that was the only real way I had a chance of basically playing as those characters. And usually you had to be pretty quick off the bat to get to those characters because everyone's wanting to do the same. But like you said, those load times, oh my word. I sat there the other morning. I had like half an hour before work. I'm going to sit down and do maybe a video too. And I sat down and I'm waiting on the menu screen. Yeah. Get in there, and then I started getting bad server connection, and it was just I couldn't do anything. I'm like going, and literally 25 minutes didn't even get a shot in on it, And it was like my internet was perfectly fine. There was nothing, I was doing everything as per normal, and it was just like the load screen seemed. It did seem a lot slower than normal.
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty fast internet speed here, and even the load times were really long for me as well. So yeah, but as I said, I think they're aware, and the new patch should address that. So hopefully it'll be good. But
could you?
What's that? Say it again.
You couldn't even exit when it felt like it had crashed. That was the thing as well. You had to basically turn off the application.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually that's one of the changes in the new load screen where you're starting a new game mode. The quit button has disappeared as well, so you can't. So you have to hit the start button, and it'll bring up something new, and that'll let you quit. But still, I mean, yeah, it's when you're stuck in that, sometimes you can't even do that. So
no, I do believe they are bringing in this new. I think I've seen a screenshot on the Reddit subgroup, which was like an instant mode is coming. Kind of working on, looks like adding a offline mode of a lot of the multi maps. I think they've been really finding there's been. I'm gonna be honest. That the other morning, that was a prime example of when something like for me, it would have been better if I could have just. You couldn't even. There wasn't even any new. Any offline content of this expansion pack at all. There was nothing in there that you could use.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've noticed though, like going back to what we were talking about, the loading times. When you are in the game, you instantly start now. Like you don't have to wait for the little bar to go before the actual game starts. So I feel like that has contributed to the whole load screen being a lot longer. But as far as offline gaming, yeah, there really hasn't been much other than the little test trials and the challenges that you can do on your own or as 2-player. But yeah, that was one of the biggest complaints about this game, that the fact that there was no story mode. So it'd be kind of cool if they had something where you can do it on your own, offline.
Yeah. I think there's going to be this like instant battle stuff, which is all about basically, I think, being able to do the modes maybe offline, but with bots. Maybe they've worked on that and realized that, because the trouble is, as much as all the online stuff is great, but when your internet's down or you live in an area where you can't have super high fast broadband, basically it almost made the game for me. It was Monday night. Oh, so it's Tuesday night. So I'm sat there and I had my PlayStation on for a few hours downloading the 4 gig patch. You think it was 100 kilobytes for the actual download, and then this massive. So I go to sit down 9 o'clock. Right, okay, I'm going to play this for a couple of hours. No, there's another hour to go. I then literally pulled out my Retron cartridge, put a cartridge in, and played Castle of Illusion for 40 minutes while it was downloading. I'm like, how like. Yep, I can't play a brand new game. I'm going to play a 30-year-old game that will work.
One that I don't have to worry about updates or bug fixes or anything. It's already done. It's on the cartridge.
There was this kind of just feeling of just going, yeah, that really was like one extreme to another. That it was just a bit funny. But I'm going to be honest, like the Cloud City, it feels a little bit like Tomorrowland.
Yeah, it kind of does. You're right. It does. It does kind of look like it. It looks a lot bigger than in the movies for sure. Yeah, no, it's so fun. It's still a fun map. I wish you can explore the buildings more than just walking in and it's just a small square building with a lot of places you can't go to. But oh well. Yeah, that's how it is.
It definitely. I don't know if it was just. I think with a lot of the other maps, you feel like you're out in nature. You're out on a weird planet, or you're in a space hangar or something like that. Yeah. This one was. I remember walking around going, "This doesn't feel like Star Wars," because I don't know. It was a bit odd because I think like you don't tend to see cities. It's not like you're running through Coruscant or something like that. Or the jet. It just felt like you're running through, like you could be playing any other shooting game.
Well, the cloud cars kind of helped, though. Those vehicles definitely helped a lot to make you feel like, oh, okay, I know where I'm at. But I did feel like a futuristic city, because again, we don't really get to see much of Bespin in the movie, other than the few corridors that they were in. But no, it's still a great map. I enjoy it. Having a AT-AT in the background shooting at you, or some ATST coming out of nowhere, it kind of helps. Fallen. they have some fallen TIE fighters and fallen X-wings, so those kind of help as well. So
yeah, it definitely adds to it. I mean, to be honest, it was like I was playing last night, and I kind of was able to, I think, master the cloud car, because I was in the Walker so, and I'm basically swooping around in basically loops, just making runs on the Walker, and it was like. It was feeling a little bit like it feels very, very limited, because every time I got to the end to turn around, I was getting the return to combat. I've just got to turn around.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've been loving it. I've been having a lot of fun playing this week. Playing Star Wars Battlefront, and this is always the thing with these updates, is they keep bringing you back in. I mean, the game now, I mean, you can pick it up really, really cheap, but the expansion pack still kind of adds a lot to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely feel like these expansions are well worth the money spent on the season pass. So, and we still got 2 to go, so it's great. The next one's the best, though. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's that thing. I feel like it almost felt like to me. I mean, I haven't played probably since the Outer Rim. Really, I think I played that for about a week, and then kind of got distracted with other stuff. So I definitely feel like when these expansion packs come in, I kind of sit down and I play it almost like a brand new game again. I'm like learning all the moves and kind of forgotten. Don't quite play it as much as you do.
Yeah, no, I definitely play it a lot more. I just thinking about it. I just remember another thing that we didn't talk about, which is some of the new costumes. Finally, the Shock Trooper is available. You can get it at rank 70, I believe, and it's like a lot of like 20,000 credits. I think it's going to take me some time.
What rank are you at the minute?
I'm not even 61. I haven't played it that much, but I'm getting close to 61.
There's me down at 16.
Yeah, good luck, buddy. Good luck. What else? Hold on. And then the new Bespin Wing Guard. He looks kind of interesting. He looks like he's wearing one of those hats that the Disneyland tour guides are wearing. but I did notice, though, because they incorporated him, they've also changed the way the Royal Guards look on both sides. So the Royal Guards now have like the funny long helmets for Leia. Then you have like the red all red guards for Palpatine, and then you have some various ones like I said, you have the Bespin Wing Guard having a different look, and it's interesting that they decided to change that, because I kind of like the way the other ones looked, but it'll work out. I mean, now that we're gonna have Shock Troopers available, they had to change the Imperial side, so that made sense. But this guy looks unique for the Rebel side, so
it definitely. I must be honest. The game, when you're playing it and you're going like, defend this, grab that, stop this, fall back. You even though you are playing as a group, those kind of the directions definitely seem to work to kind of force everyone into playing. They kind of play along with the story, to kind of play along with the plan.
Yeah, it's true. It definitely helps. I mean, even though you may not be playing with people, if you're playing by yourself, it does give you all direction. If you are playing with somebody, or there's a way to partner somebody, but the game will automatically partner you with somebody else if you're not. And they added something new with partners, where if you're close to each other, it'll generate your star cards faster too. So it's an incentive to work together, which is awesome. So
that would explain why I kept getting put as a partner with people. I'm going, well, what was that?
Yeah, but no matter what, you'll always be partnered up. Yeah.
But also, I always found seemed to be like jumping into where your partner was always seemed to be a little bit more faster. You'd be back into the action a lot quicker, because they would generally be where the action is, whereas the spawning spot would be quite a way away. Or
partner starting
good, sometimes bad.
Yeah, partner starting is very beneficial sometimes. Sometimes it's not, because you're in the battle zone and you get immediately shot down and it's pointless. But they did incorporate like a new, I guess it's like a smarter feature, where if your partner is in danger, they won't allow you to spawn where they're at. So then you can spawn on your own. So
yeah, definitely for me, I feel like big thumbs up. Love playing it this week. Really enjoy playing Battlefront this week. I really kind of feel like I got that kind of the buzz back for that game. And like I said, a few little things with the loading times and stuff. But I'm hoping once they kind of I always feel like, I don't know whether or not it's just because of when it's available in the season pass, it's only like, it's like you've got access to it, and then when they do the full update so everyone can buy it, they like add it into all the menus and stuff. Because at the minute, unless you go into that little option, there is no. But I think, like you said, there might be some more patches coming to add some more content to the game once the game comes out properly next week.
Well, the patch is definitely coming out tomorrow, so it'll be good. Hopefully, it'll fix those issues. But yeah, like you said, once those others come out, it'll be awesome.
It should be a lot of fun. So, okay, so we're gonna stick on Star Wars stuff. So we got Lego Force Awakens is out tomorrow here. It's out on the 28th. You've kind of got the basic game. You've also got a deluxe version where you get the season pass all thrown in. Some of the different stores I know have got different figures with them. I think like Game here in the UK, or some of them have the deluxe version of the little Finn. I think I saw, I think Tesco had a little play, and I know in the US as well, some of the retailers have got different toys. So you might want to have a look around depending on which toy you want.
Yeah, I pre-ordered mine a while ago, and unfortunately, it says it won't be here till like the 12th of July. So I'm gonna end up having to get it somewhere else. and I think GameStop has the same version I got, which is the one with Finn. But you also get like an exclusive. I think it's like the Jabba characters bonus exclusive, and then you also get a little Kylo Ren's vehicle Lego poly bag. That'll come with it as well. And you also get, I think, one more little DLC ahead of people for some reason. I don't remember.
No, definitely feels like. I mean, I think this game is going to be a real big boost. I'm really looking forward to playing it this week. You know, whenever you get a new Lego game, the main story modes are really a lot of fun. They had a lot of new stuff. Playing that demo last week was a real kind of nice boost for that one. So yeah, Lego Force Awakens we'll be talking about a little bit more in the coming weeks when they're out. You got all the different expansion packs and level packs and character packs all coming. A few different ones like the Jedi character pack, which is exclusive to the season pass, which kind of gives you a load of stuff from the prequels like Mace Windu and General Grievous and stuff like that. There's also the Empire Strikes Back and the Jabba Palace DLC stuff coming as well with the season pass.
Yeah, no, a lot of great exclusive stuff, and yeah, I'm excited to play them. It'll be fun.
It definitely feels like kind of this. I think once this game is out, then they're going to announce whatever they're doing with other bits and pieces. But it definitely is kind of great. I think this is a great time because I did this. I think last year they released Jurassic World in this point last year. So I always feel like it's good for them to get a game out in the summer when there's usually a lull. There's usually, everything's for the Christmas stuff. So I think it's a good idea for them, especially with the amount of content they're bringing out with Dimensions, to have this out now. But I do wonder, like, what's going to happen. Are we going to get a Star Wars movie game year on year, or story mode, or whatever else they're going to try and move it into?
It really depends on what's going to happen with all these licensing rights to characters and whatnot. So yeah, we don't know. I mean, will we see Lego Dimensions have inclusion, or will we still see standalone Lego games with those characters? So we don't know.
It's to be honest, for me, I feel like this is kind of thing. I really feel like how much money gets made from the standalone compared to obviously with the story packs that they're introducing in Dimensions. To me, that kind of opens a gateway a little bit more for that to be moved over to Dimensions, because if you've got 5 or 6 levels and you've got different toys, we've got these character packs for Lego Force Awakens that have got 10, 12 figures of characters in. Dimensions is very much like, well, no, if you want a figure, you're going to have to buy it. So it really depends, I think, on the bottom line of how much money things like Force Awakens and Avengers make compared to the story packs.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going to come into it. Are they able to sell 5-10 times more Force Awakens games than they are maybe a story pack? But it's hard to know.
Well, I mean, the direction that Dimensions is going is actually going to be a little bit better too. You're going to get more bang for your buck, because the story modes are going to include, like, I think 6 levels, and it's going to be more hours of gameplay. Then each character that you buy unlocks like an additional, like, for example, Ghostbusters one, you only have one character, but it unlocks like the 5 others. You know what I mean? Then you also have battle arenas that they unlock, so it unlocks more DLC information with the new stuff that they're going. So who knows?
It definitely to me, sort of my crystal ball kind of idea at the minute. It it definitely feels like the idea of them adding these story modes and, like you say, adding these different things of flicking between the characters feels a little bit like they can push. And I feel like with Star Wars is the perfect thing for them to move into another line, or a sideline, maybe sideline it in with something else. It's like Rogue One. I could easily see a Rogue One story pack. It makes complete sense, and they could do that. So I really, it's like this thing of me like picking up Lego Dimensions. The reason I'm picking this up, because I wanted to play through the main story anyway, and I kept putting it off because of playing Infinity. I do think that some content will be coming in next year. I just feel it. I just feel that Lego have already got the deal. They're already in talks with them. They've already got. It's not going to be hard for them to make this. This is not a brand new game company dealing with something else. They're already doing this. I think that's why I always feel it's a lot easier to say, we got a Lego Star Wars game coming out tomorrow. It's not like it's very hard to say, they're never going to work together.
We also have a lot more spending money since Disney Infinity doesn't work anymore. so yeah.
there was that thing, I must admit, I go, well, I've got the pocket money each week. I can kind of I must admit, I don't want to buy everything. As I was looking for the list of things last night, and I go, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. I'm going to be a lot more picky. And I've decided
I will get everything if they're like ridiculously cheap. Like I know Amazon had like a $2.75 sale a while back. They do something like that again? Sure, why not?
I'm kind of more thinking is like level packs kind of things. I really want to that's where the extra characters I'm not quite so bothered about. I must admit I do like the idea of Stay Puft Mellow Man and Slimer, those kind of ones. But I feel like that stuff, it might take a while for it to come into it, but I think it's more of a case of when rather than if. I just have my honest opinion. I think it would make sense for them, especially like with things like Lego Star Wars the Freemaker, and I just can't see them not looking at that and going, there isn't money to be made for them now. They've got all they brought every other, they're having to go back to the 80s to find licensing, and suddenly all these new licensing characters came up like 2 months ago.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I just feel like it's more of an it's such a strong chance of it, and I like playing Lego games, so it makes it those things. Let's shift back to Disney Infinity. Couple of sort of concept art got kind of released by Infinity. I can never pronounce their person's name.
Infinity Adventures. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Infiniteering Adventure. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, he managed to been able to get hold of a little another exclusive reveal of Spider Gwen, which she looks amazing, kind of on the bricks. It definitely looks a little bit different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was depressing. Yeah, she's just definitely a gorgeous. Yeah, look at that. It's just, it's so cool. The detail you see on there, it's just phenomenal. Now from one of the other insiders that I know. Yeah. They told me that actually the final product was going to have a little bit of graffiti on the bricks themselves. And it was going to say something like, something Spider-Gwen related, but it was cool. It was that alone, just as is amazing, and adding a little bit more detail would have even made it more amazing. Yeah. But it's depressing because it's such a gorgeous figure. That's for everybody who keeps asking the question. Yes, this is the figure that Allison was excited about. So yeah, it's just sad that we won't get to get her in our collections. But she's awesome. I'm glad we're able to see what she could have looked like. So.
Yeah, it's just all this stuff. It just still feels again like this is such a bad way. And there's a quick look there at Goofy and was it Brian?
Yeah. No, Kevin.
Kevin, I couldn't read it. It's like the dodo.
The thing about this Goofy though, this is just concept. This possibly couldn't have been what he looked like, or it could have been the figure. Who knows?
I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
look
don't.
Infinity to me.
No. It looks like they grabbed the base of one of the other Mickey or Minnie or even Donald, and they just drew a little concept animation on top of what he could have looked like. So yeah, that's what we're seeing. And then Kevin looks like he could have been a rideable mount or something, because he doesn't look like a figure at all. But yeah, no, it's Goofy was another one that he would have completed the well, technically not, because you still have Pluto, but it still would have added to the family. We only have Donald and Mickey and Minnie, but
yeah, I just felt like that sort of hold didn't look right. I think compared to the other ones, it just didn't quite hit the same. I wasn't like, I'm gonna be honest, I saw that picture and it was a little bit like, it wasn't like, oh my god, I feel kind of depressed, like Strange and Gwen, because I think I looked at it and went, that doesn't look like the figure.
Well, the only reason why I feel like that's definitely not the figure, but the only reason why I feel like it could have been the pose is because it looked like they were starting to introduce poses that weren't always like the
Ready to go.
ready to go pose anymore. Like, for example, Baloo is a unique pose. The way Pan looked was pretty unique. So yeah, it looked like a goofy pose. It definitely looked like a goofy pose. So
it's definitely kind of, I'm wondering how many more of these we're going to get over the next coming months, of how much is going to start sliding out, or if this kind of going to start going through.
We might see a few more, just so you guys have an idea. I believe the Moana figures were pretty much in the complete zone. They just needed to obviously be produced, and I believe some of the Rogue Ones won. So but anything past that and what we've heard, we probably won't even get to see. But yeah, there might be a few more that we get to finally get revealed, because I believe Goofy wasn't going to show up until 4.0, so that's why we probably didn't see a figure.
And I do wonder if Rogue One and Moana, they might be a little bit more sensitive about putting that artwork out because of it not being out yet, and embargoes,
if they're no longer Disney employees and they're not told not to, and they need, and they were given the portfolio to work out, then they're probably going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think is now. I think all this, have they reached the end of that date now, or is it July?
Not everybody. It's very early July. I think it's like the first week of July. Some of them already are gone, obviously, but there's just a few left. So
yeah, it definitely kind of it kind of feels, I think that kind of thing of everyone. I think this is the thing with the game, is I think it's going to start to wrap up. I think once people have got the Finding Dory thing, and I think it's big. I think the only thing that's really kind of hanging over everyone is the server. Kind of everyone's kind of on this thing of how long it is till they shut down that server. And in one hand, it kind of makes sense for Disney not to mention anything, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of the communication side of things. The Twitter account is still responding with the initial kind of whatever their cue cards are that they got when they started the game is still going off of that kind. There might be some coming soon. No, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, okay. It's tough.
Yeah. Right, let's shift over now to some quick bits and pieces. So Steam have had a sale on the summer sale on. It literally crashed down Steam for a couple of hours. A whole host of games, literally dozens and dozens of games, are discounted on Steam. Load of older ones, lots of newer ones. You've got there's a quick rundown here of some of the ones that are on there. You've got lots of Lego games. You've got lots of Star Wars games like Star Wars X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Epic Mickey 2. You've got Cars, Battle. You've got Pirates of the Caribbean, Tron 2, Tron Runner, Finding Nemo. Loads of older ones on there. I picked up Castle Illusion on the PC because it was about £2.60 for the new remastered version. So I was playing through that 2 nights ago. It's that kind of thing of, I should have really brought. I still feel like I should have brought it on my PlayStation 3, but it looked beautiful. It ran great. Maybe after gone through DuckTales Remastered, I was kind of in the zone. I was like, right, for £2.60, this is a good bargain to play. A couple of bucks, lots of stuff there to play with. Also, if you're into Marvel Heroes 2016, there's a special starter pack where you can get Captain America, Iron Man. You get 2 stashes. You get a load of boosters and stuff. I think it was costing about £1.69. It's like 90% off. I picked that up because I might have already had Iron Man, but I got an extra stash, but also got Captain America and a few other bonuses. Literally, that was such a bargain. I mean, that was such a great purchase to pick up for £1. You know, so I know a lot of people are spending a fortune on the Steam sale now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to flick over now to a little bit of mobile on the same stuff with there's a new Dark and Light stuff coming to Star Wars the Old Republic. I was gonna be honest, I still haven't played this yet. I had installed it. There's new events and stuff coming to the game, but I'm gonna be honest, I still haven't managed to kind of fully load that game up yet. So I don't know too much about that one yet. Also, a Final Fight on the mobile version that's been giving a new update. They've added a player versus player mode. They've added some new characters. It's the biggest update to the game. Is new characters, new uniforms, and new gameplay improvements. I played that a little bit. I haven't fully got into that on the mobile. Have you ever played that one? Future Fight? No.
Nope. Not my game.
No, I played a little bit. I found it a little bit more fun than Avengers Alliance. I don't like the card battling. You know, if I want to hit the action button, I want to be able to punch or kick or whatever or swing it. I don't want to have to like. It's a bit like with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I wasn't a big fan of that either. I don't know if you played that one.
Nope.
And then we've also got there's been a little bit more added to the Disney Magic Kingdoms. So I'm getting it. I've actually unlocked the Incredible stuff. I've started playing the game. I'm getting into it. So have you managed to unlock Dash yet? I'm still a little bit behind.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, have I unlocked? Yeah, I'm counting down on Violet right now as we speak. Violet's almost here. I'll be ready to go with her. I think I'm working on the second sister from the fairies for Aurora. I mean, Zurg is almost there. I mean, I've been working. Donald is almost here. Like I've been working on a lot of cool stuff. But the Incredibles, yeah, it's a cool event. Only thing that annoys me is that there is a timer on the bots. The higher you go,
yeah.
One of my missions is 150 bots, and it's like they only generate 5 bots every 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so it's like it's getting a little ridiculous. They did also install, I noticed on Main Street, this little trailer thing where you can get 1 gem for watching a video. And it doesn't work properly. No. So sometimes you'll watch the same video 4 times and you get 4 gems. Sometimes you click it and it says you're going to watch a video, but it doesn't show you anything. So you get no gems. So it's kind of weird. It's a bit wonky, but it's still there. And some of the cool buildings that The Incredibles is introducing is cool. Like they even introduced like jetpacks from Tomorrowland and some Tron things for decoration pieces. And yeah, it's fun. The Incredibles event has been a success in my opinion. So yeah, it's been.
Do you know what, for me, it's not only, but the reason why it was a success for me was because it got me back in the game. Because I played it initially when it came out and went, "This is not theme park. I don't want to like it," and I deleted it. That was my problem. It was like, this wasn't the game I wanted. I deleted it. And it was only really The Incredibles for all. I better just load. I'm going to load up and just have another quick look at it. Because it's like a lot of people are playing this. It's like, and I think when I went back into it the second time, I didn't have all that preconceived notion. So when I started the game from scratch, it was a lot easier because I didn't have all that pre-hype up that I was expecting theme park.
Well, I mean, first off, yeah, they did pitch the game that it was going to be something that it turned out to be different. You know what I mean? Like back at D23, they pitched it as a big create your own theme park type of thing, which in a sense you sort of are, but it's like story driven and it's kind of weird. A lot of farming. It takes forever, so but still, this event definitely keeps you going. It has a little bit of everything in the event, which is why you have so much to do. But no, it's cool. I enjoy it. It's fun, and I'm excited for whatever else is going to come. Hopefully, I hope they do something with cars. That would be so much fun. But
I got a feeling that these events are going to become like a monthly thing. I think they're just going to keep churning out new characters, new content. Just keep adding these characters because there's so many different. I mean, even one sort of movie brand a month, it's going to take them years to get through what they've got already.
Well, the fact that they haven't, even touched the Frozen franchise yet shows you. Oh yeah, that's coming.
And also, I'm going to be honest, they haven't really moved into like the movie tie-in zone yet either, because like, if they had like some Finding Dory content, or if they had some, they got BFG, Pete's Dragon, Moana stuff, they haven't even really tapped into that, and I'm wondering if that's going to be coming at some point. Whether
I don't know.
They'll start getting some synergy.
I don't know if this game is kind of like that, like where it's driven by new content. It's definitely seems like they're using a lot of classic stuff. Because some of the new content was a Sleeping Beauty. That's like one of the oldest ones. So it's taking time. So it's interesting.
It just feels It was just that kind of thing of you could add a character with an event for a week, or if you had just a BFG event for a week, it could you didn't have to do a lot. It depends. I think it depends on how well Games Loft and Disney are working together on kind of doing this. Like Moana would have been like quite a cool little thing to add in, but I don't know if they had to hold off a little bit before the events, maybe start building the events first and get people used to them rather than going straight into the movie tie-ins.
Yeah, I think that's more like a Crossy Road department. I think they're able to do something like that. But as far as here goes, I don't know. It's a different direction, I think.
Other quick news, we got Finding Dory Just Keep Swimming has been added to the Apple TV. If you haven't picked that one up, definitely worth checking it out. The new 2 new levels come on every week. They were fun. Also, Marvel Heroes have got a sale on for their anniversary. Spider-Man has now joined Avengers Academy. Do you still play that game?
I never did. I wasn't really. When I saw the premise and the whole story, I've heard from others that they thought the same as I did and they played it and it's addicting. But I just don't find it appealing to visit my. Okay, look, whoever likes the TV show Gotham, I pity you, because I don't care about how whatever the villains and Commissioner Gordon got to where they were. I care about Batman. You know what I mean? That's how I am. So, so I don't care how these Avengers were in school or whatever. I just don't care about the Avenger.
I gave up on Gotham about halfway through season 1. But yeah, I think the Avengers Academy.
Just so you know.
I was like that with Game of Thrones. I only lasted 1 episode. It's that kind of thing. I think with Avengers Academy, for me, I didn't really like that type of gameplay. I think I prefer like the Contest of Champions, Final Fight, and Marvel Heroes. That kind of action-based stuff. I find I'm not very good with text. Next, skip, next. I don't want story. I just want to take control of a character and play. I don't want reams and reams and reams and reams and reams of text. It just annoys me. I don't want to read it. Though it might be a great story, but if you can't tell the story, that to me always feels like that is just having characters. Even I'm going to be honest, even Disney Magic Kingdoms. Next. I don't know what the story was.
I kind of do that too sometimes.
But it's just this kind of thing. I'm not interested in that, because it's like you're trying to tell a story doing it the cheapest way possible. It's basically you're not using video games. You're not using the content the way you should do to tell a story. It's being done. I'm going to be honest. I always felt that a little bit with the Infinity toy boxes. Whenever you just had stream box. I never read it. That's me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you're missing out on Game of Thrones. But anyways, yeah.
I think let me just see here on my list of things to talk about on this one. I think that's all of our Disney video game news. There's been a few other little bits of discussion about Marvel games, how they maybe are working. They've been knowing that Marvel versus Capcom is still very, very highly regarded, and I think Marvel have got a new strategy for video games and console games, and I think it's going to be a fun time ahead for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I also had one more tidbit that I remembered, if I can talk about. For everybody, Disney Infinity fans who've been wanting to hear anything or answers or whatever, there was a tweet not that long ago. Apparently, there's going to be a video, kind of like a farewell video, that I believe JB and Allison might be working on. And of course, they're working on this video on their own accord because they're no longer Disney employees, so it's not a Disney pushed video. So that will be kind of cool to finally get to see some of them say goodbye, you know. So keep an eye out for that.
I think, to be honest, I still feel the way that they went out was the worst way. They literally, I mean, it was like a Brexit. It, you know, it was just. It
but at least both sides are being heard on Brexit. Over here, you're fired. You're done.
Yeah, and there's a petition. It's this kind of thing of this whole thing of it just being whipped out from underneath people without any notice and never really finishing off. I think that's the problem with this one.
Did somebody start a petition for Brexit, by the way?
Yeah, it's got about 3-4 million people have signed it. It's just kind of thing of just like, it's like you're gonna have a vote, but we're gonna redo it if the person doesn't agree with it. It doesn't. Anyway, that's too political for this. It's definitely kind of this weird thing of, I think with Disney Infinity, I think the way it went out was how badly it got dealt with. The big people at the top didn't. Like, and I've said this right from the word go. They never understood video games. They didn't understand what it was. They didn't get it. They don't. They look at the numbers and they don't see people at the other end. You know, I've been reading stuff. I think on the Diff forum. You know, people are like, you know, I'm not going to. I've cancelled my trip to Disney World. I'm not going to Disney World because I've had it with Disney. And you're like, oh, you guys really didn't quite. You know, this is like. I don't know if Disney really quite fully understood how much this was going to piss off a lot of fans.
Yeah. But I also think some people are just talking from behind a keyboard. I'm sure they're going to Disney World regardless. But yeah, no, I do agree. There's a lot of upset people. There's a lot of mad people. There's also a lot of people who have false hope and are continuously trying to like avenge Disney Infinity, which is dumb. To be honest with you, the truth is, you know, the petition, the thank you, the thank you cards, the letters to Bob Iger, all that stuff was great for the reason to let the team know that they were loved and that they did a good job. And that's basically it. There's just, you know, if Disney Infinity comes back, hopefully it's not Disney owned. Yeah, hopefully it's Disney licensed. But if it does come back, it probably won't come back for years to come. So. It's unfortunate. It's something that we love, but the way to keep it alive is to celebrate it by playing what you have right now and enjoying your figures that you still have. So that's how it is.
And not trading them all in for Lego figures.
No, that's true. Although you have money to spend now.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way of kind of like I've lost a bit of. It's like you're sitting there with like these mobile games going, well, should I buy that? And I'm like looking at these gems on like Magic Kingdom going, that can save me a week. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
It's just like, Frozone and this. I go, no. If you go down this line, you are gonna get. It's like you can't start this. You can't start mobile purchases. Because otherwise you're going to be like my little friend's kid that basically rang up an £800 mobile bill. Right. Because it's just like, buy gems. Like, yeah. At least I do think, like, I don't know what it is about mobile games. Why is it they always got to do all these different currencies? It's like, it's a way of trying to hide everything. I don't know why they have to have 5 different things on everything.
No, it's smart. They know they make money that way, so
yeah. It's just very confusing. It's like I keep one currency and then you have the buying stuff. It's just like when you have 4 or 5 different things to collect at once, it just gets silly. But that's just new modern games for you. I think that's pretty much going to cover all of this week's video game news. Again, it's kind of funny to see how much. I think with so many different titles around, it's amazing how much stuff is actually out there a week.
No, yeah, there's just a lot. I mean, even coming out of E3 and just playing all those amazing games, there's a lot to come, and there's a lot already coming out. So it's just like it's a little overwhelming. But yeah, now we got Lego coming. Tomorrow or something?
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've got 2 Lego games because we got that one and we got Dimensions to play for. So that's sorted for the summer.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slow down on that one though. I'm gonna wait just a little bit. I'm probably gonna focus on Lego Star Wars, hopefully, and then
Yeah.
I'll jump into the other one.
Yeah, that's my plan. Kind of do Lego Force Awakens, and I'll do Lego Dimensions once I've finished Force Awakens and stuff. It definitely, but that's my summer gaming sorted. I think that's because it's usually.
Oh, I got more summer gaming to do. No Man's Skies come in, and then probably jumping into Overwatch, and then eventually do Uncharted 4. There's so much to do.
Yeah, Uncharted 4 is on my Christmas list because I kind of needed a few games. It's that I think as well with having so much is like you kind of have a game or two on the go at once, and there is just so much stuff out there, and it is amazing. It's like it feels like this week has been Battlefront, next week is Force Awakens, the week before was Finding Dory. It just feels like I'm just just like I say, jumping from game to game each week depending on what's got the newest content on. Okay, and also doing a little bit of Kingdom Hearts and jumping back into a bit of, but also gonna be honest, Marvel Heroes. I've been really kind of loving that and playing that. I've been really enjoying playing that game. It's been one that I was not expecting to grab, and the last 2 months since I started playing that thing, been spending more and more. I can easily lose 2 hours in an evening just playing Marvel Heroes. It's become my kind of real fun game.
Still Rogue One. I'm still Battlefield and it out. So Battlefronting. Wow,
yeah.
Geez, it's time for me to go to sleep, guys.
Well, anyway, guys, I would like to thank Ethan again for being Patreon over at patreon.com/DisKingdom, which helps kind of support the site, kind of doing bits and pieces of that. Also, big thank you to everyone for checking us out over at DisKingdom.com. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. You can also listen to the audio version as well over on iTunes and stuff, and you can hit the subscribe there. Join our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group, which we're going to be talking about all different kind of games and stuff. So they're definitely kind of, the group is kind of, in the evolving stage of kind of, trying to talk about all different kinds of games and the newest releases and stuff. So anything else you want to add before we close off for the day?
I guess may the Force be with Lego.
Yes. To infinity and beyond.